Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Trap Draw podcast. Me llamo TC, and I'm joined by my esteemed amigo, Mr. Grande Randy.
Hola, hola, TC. If I can switch to French, of course, je m'appelle Randy. Great to be with you. I enjoyed, I'm always afraid of getting Wally pipped here. You and DJ do such a great job on your chop sessions, but it's good to be back in this seat, TC.
Oh, good to have you back in this seat. You've been sitting a lot the last couple days. A lot of windshield time driving back
Oh my
from
God. Yeah.
Texas.
Yeah. Driving back up Austin to Denver. It's about 14, 15 hours, depending on some of the traffic you might hit. Really nice. I'm back in Denver now. Really nice to be home. Like you said, it's a pretty drive, but man, it's long. It just yeah, wide open vistas though. TC, I actually weirdly have I've come to enjoy the open road like that. It's
Big
it's
big
stark
sky.
but pretty country. Yeah.
Yeah. Tumbleweeds and such.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It's a lot better like southern Colorado. I go through a little sliver of New Mexico, and then like northern Texas is really cool. You get north of
Huh.
Amarillo and a lot of hills, and it just is a nice landscape. And then once you kind of get down near Lubbock, central Texas, it's that just flat, kind of ugly
Monotone or
open
monochrome.
Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kind of reminds you of like the worst parts of the Metroplex or something. And then
Listen, we
Austin's cool.
don't
It gets hilly down there.
we don't have to shit on the Metroplex in this episode. We do enough
It
of
it
it.
is both of ours like least favorite city, just aesthetically, I think, anywhere in the
Yeah,
country. But
yeah.
that's
But some
another
of our
topic.
favorite people are in the Plex.
That's
So,
right. That's right.
um,
Including the
yeah.
sensei.
Yeah, you and Arthur. We'll talk more about Thanksgiving here in a sec. First, we gotta thank Mr. Jeezy, of course, through whom all things are possible. And then, yeah, just a little run of show. First things first, I didn't wanna leave things unanswered for people. Are we going to play at some point the Chuck Landis AI
The
music, or is that paywalled behind closed doors? We have to protect.
No, I think, well, I need a new link from him. So I sent it to you and DJ because you guys were clamoring for it, and I just needed company to be like, "You guys gotta listen to this." And,
Yeah,
DJ was like, "This is about as bleak of," first of all, good for the boys for having fun with it. Get
yeah,
get all those caveats out of the way, but when you really get down to it, boy, it's bleak. I think I'm gonna try to get a fresh link from Chuck. I don't know why the link he
yeah.
sent me is not working on my phone apparently. So maybe we'll play it like right here. We'll get it to our editor Phil, and maybe he can drop in a couple lines
I love
in
that. I
in
love
this
that. We'll let the
space.
people
Yeah.
react. You
Let the
can,
people react. That's exactly right.
yeah, yeah. We're not
This
gonna
is the
judge. It's their
Miami
opinion.
University Sigma Nu just group of guys, kind of 50th anniversary. They went up to Michigan earlier this summer, and hey, we need an AI song. And so this is what it was.
Maybe everybody needs an AI song.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What if as a household, like what if you were like, Alex, like I don't know what the cadence is every month, you kind of make a fresh AI song for the household, kind of something that you guys play
I like
frequently?
that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Franchise could make a cameo. Julius
That's right.
Peppers.
That's right. That's right.
So, well, this episode we're gonna do some monitoring, talk through, just life recently. Got some sports stuff to react to. A lot going on in football, just
Mhm.
all levels, high school, college, pros. Some travel observations, and then I just wanted to thank everybody who chimed in to offer up suggestions on the list of things that are sick. Which I can run through those now, and then Randy, I do want to get your reaction just to some of these initial nominees. This is just a small sliver of what the total list of nominees are going to be. But
Okay.
Deej and I were saying we might need different categories, or I think we're over indexed on like systems. Like I'll just get right into it here. We've got uh drive-in movie theaters, pneumatic tubes, simple machines like pulley, lever, wedge, wheel,
Ca
that sort of thing.
can I
Frederick
jump in
Yeah,
can I jump in here real quick?
please.
Couple okay, so first of all, on the, pneumatic tubes, got a note from our buddy, CJ, who's a doctor we went to school with, and he told me to quote, "Tell Todd that hospitals all use the pneumatic tube systems to get blood samples from all the floors to the lab," and he cosigns that pneumatic tube
They're
systems
sick.
are indeed sick. Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan Barath uh, from the golf industry, he used to install pneumatic tubes back in his previous life. He sent me some pictures, like some examples of the stuff they used to install. Crazy, like industrial sized pneumatic tubes.
Huh.
Uh, kind of like the loop thing, the hyperloop thing that, you know,
The
uh,
original Hyperloop
yeah,
kinda. Yeah.
exactly.
We're just sending these
So,
plastic tubes instead of having to drive Teslas through them.
yeah.
Well, I wanted to drill down the only one I know and you're gonna get some more here. I This is gonna make me sound like a hater. I can't get drive-in movie theaters just don't quite do it for me. That
DJ
was
was
one.
passionate about that one.
Yeah, yeah. So, listen, I don't wanna yuck DJ's yum, but that's one where I might need a bit more convincing on
Okay.
to take it from like, yeah, they're a novelty, they're kinda cool, they're kind of a relic of the past. I don't know if they're sick. I don't know if I ever think about them.
They could be wonderful and authentic, like, sick is a very specific thing, you know?
Feels like we're trying to get to a certain
Okay.
bar.
Continuing on Frederick Law Olmsted,
Total hitter.
and his work, Shohei Ohtani,
The greatest of all time.
yeah, Norfolk Island Pines,
Don't have to convince me there. Best
okay,
tree.
yeah, and I got some Norfolk Island Pine news here forthcoming shortly. Non-traditional capitals, so, like, Traverse City, cherry capital
Oh, I see what you're yeah,
of the
yeah,
USA,
okay.
or I don't think this is a capital one, but like Reno, biggest little city in the world.
It's kinda in that mold,
Adjacent.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Um,
Lexington, maybe the ginkgo capital based on what we're hearing.
I feel like they should lean into that,
Yeah,
certainly.
Baylor or, Waco, Texas, capital of, like, potentially sick people, right?
They're they're fighting College Station and Happy Valley there. Okay, I'm a little disappointed there are none just, like, immediately popping into my head. I feel like that's an indictment of just I need to be a little bit better versed on some of these niche places, but
I bet you
I do
drove
agree with
through
this one.
some.
I know, exactly.
Drove
I'm
some.
thinking, like, Raton, New Mexico, or, you know, Post, Texas, or all these places. Yeah,
I mean,
certainly they're
Florence
known for something.
Florence, Colorado.
The
You drove right
Supermax,
through there. That's gotta be the incarceration capital of the world.
which I big news out here in Colorado. They were trying to get that Tina Peters lady, the Arizona election denier lady. She's locked up in Colorado now. She's not at Florence. I don't think she's a Supermax person.
Supermax.
But she's locked up in Colorado, and I think the current administration was trying to transfer her to, like, the Federal Bureau of Prisons or something, and, at least for now, the Colorado governor said, "No, thank you. She
Like our
can
guy Joey
stay here."
Ferrari.
Yeah.
Wait, you're sending me to the to the maximum security? Like, crazy. A couple other ones. The U.S. Marshals. U.S. Marshals are sick. I'm not gonna. There's no debate on that. Their whole mission, it just seems kind of vague, and which I kind
Yeah,
of dig.
yeah. People,
Had a
like,
couple people
know
reach
of
out.
them, but don't really
Yeah,
understand. Yeah.
couple people reach out and said, "Hey, like my uncle's a U.S. Marshal. I could probably get him on the, either on the show or send you some merchandise." I was like, "Hell yeah, I'll take a U.S. Marshal's hat."
I was gonna say,
Um,
send you a big hat. Here's a question on the non-traditional capitals. Once you either self-bestow or bestowed something, what's is that infinite? Because I'm thinking of Cincinnati,
Queen
used to be known
City.
as Porkopolis, the
Oh,
Queen City. It was at one time like the pork capital of at least the United States. Is not anymore, but I'm wondering what's the statute of limitations there?
yeah. I think it's ongoing, right? You gotta keep earning it, or it can be a historical but no longer relevant one. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I think it's just
So
I think it's more the concept than any one specific one.
I've just Googled a few
The
here.
world can change, you know?
Anoka, Minnesota is, the self-glossed Halloween capital of the world, you know? I think that falls under here. But I see what you're saying, TC, and so I'm with you.
Yeah.
The capital distinction is it's like success. You can't buy it. You rent
Yeah.
it, and it's due
Like,
every day.
I'm going to Vidalia, Georgia tomorrow. I would assume they're the onion capital of the world.
They should
If
be.
if they aren't, then I would like to nominate them as such. Pretty
Yeah.
sure they are. So,
Okay. Alright.
um, yeah. And then, I think this is where we get into kind of the systems here. Subways, kind of a
Amazing.
pneumatic tube, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Running water, a system, kind of a pneumatic tube, if we're being honest.
Fascinating.
Um, but and then yeah, model trains. I referenced the gas and electric building downtown Cincinnati that used to do the big train thing. Did you ever go to that when you were
My
a
my old
child?
man, yeah, Chuck took me damn near every year. Was the highlight of the Christmas season. I am such a massive model train fan. I could not co-sign this one more. Um, they just they would keep me in a sense of wonder, just watching them all move and the craftsmanship and the attention to detail. Totally agree with this one. I brought
And
up,
then
one
yeah,
of our favorite burger places in Cincinnati, Zips Cafe. They have the train going around the top of the restaurant. It's great.
yeah, just simple joys, I think. Then lastly, the Great Lakes. I don't think we have to twist your arm on this one.
They're great for a reason. No, you don't. They're
Yeah.
undeniably sick. Like the sheer amount of water in a Great Lake, and then you think about the 5 Great Lakes, it's my mind can't really even begin to comprehend it. Yeah.
I'm glad you said 5 Great Lakes because I remember there was a campaign a while back to consider Lake Champlain the 6th Great Lake. That just didn't sit right with
Yeah,
me big.
no. No, it's like, uh, that's like Pluto's not a planet anymore. I feel like there are a couple instances there for, like, stuff we, like, very basically learned as kids, they're trying to
Yeah,
mess with, and the Great Lakes would be an example of that. Now, there are 5 of them. That's it. Lake
agreed.
Champlain is awesome. I
Sick. Yeah,
Yeah, like,
we
it's
can talk
sick
about it.
to a degree for sure, but no, it's
Yeah,
not a Great Lake.
yeah. I'll say it's impressive. It's not sick, it's impressive,
Okay. Yeah, that
you know?
totally agree.
Yeah. All right, well, that's kinda, anything you'd like to get off your chest as far as nominations or stuff that's just immediately like, "Oh, like, these are my first 2. This is my first overall pick."
I am ashamed to admit I've, like, gotten so far in my own head on this where
I'm
like,
shocked.
I know, where things that I'm like, "Oh, no, does that," I've just overthought it all. So, give me a little time. I'm not quite prepared to offer anything yet, I don't think,
Okay.
but I really appreciate the work that you and DJ are spearheading here. I think it's
Thank you.
important work.
Thank you. Well, speaking of important work, let's do some mea culpas. I've got 3 or 4 of them this week, and they're courtesy ServPro, number 1 brand cleanup and restoration, known for making any mess like it never even happened. With over 2,200 locations nationwide, they're faster at any size disaster. Visit servpro.com or call 1-800-SERVPRO today. This isn't a mea culpa from us, but this is a mea culpa from um, the writer at I believe Complex, the music publication that called us one of the biggest golf podcasts in the world, and we took particular offense to that. This was in relation to Jeezy, just kind of putting Jeezy's legacy in context.
Yeah.
And Will Shuby reached out and said his name is pronounced Shuby, not Shub. So hand up there. He apologized for calling it a golf podcast, and we will apologize to him for
That's just people
Yeah,
apologizing to other people, I think that's what makes the world go round. That's nice. That's a
yeah,
good one to start out with, TC.
yeah, amen. This one's on me. My mom hit me with this, like, as soon as they got to Jacksonville last week for Thanksgiving. She was vociferous in her disappointment that, I didn't fact check or even it was just a total I'd watched the Dick Cheney funeral, as I know I'm sure you did, and I misspoke and said that the Obamas were there. The Obamas were not there. It was the Bushes and then Kamala Harris and the Bidens, and then Mike Pence was there, but the Obamas were not there, and I said that the Obamas were there.
Interesting.
So,
Th
she was pretty fired up about that.
Now, are the Obamas and the Cheneys beefing, or is
I don't
that
know. I don't know.
did they not get invited? That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, like, it seemed like the last few vice presidents were there. Yeah, I don't know how that decorum works, or I don't know if Al Gore was there.
Right.
That would be a great question. He might have been just inventing the internet still, but but yeah. So yeah, Peg was pretty fired up about that. I mispronounced that city
Thank you
and
to Peg. Let me just
yeah,
jump in. Thank you, Peg.
which yeah,
And
Peg had her
we
own.
we gotta
You
be
know,
better.
Peg had her own mea culpa earlier this year when she had heard the scuttlebutt that Heather McMahon was getting kicked out of Atlanta Athletic Club, and that was not true. And
Mm,
so I had to offer a
okay.
mea culpa on her behalf and on my behalf to Heather and her husband just for putting fake news out there. So
And let me say, don't mind Heather McMahon. My wife's a fan of the comedy. I think she was put in a tough spot at the Ryder Cup,
she was
TC. Tough
she
spot.
was
I think somebody put her in a bad spot, and she did not. You know,
yeah.
she did not get out of it
We can call
necessarily.
a spade a spade. Don Ray and the rest of the
It's true.
31,000 or 32,000 or
Yeah.
33,000 put her in a tough
Do you,
spot.
do you think First Tee MC is rising to Don's desk? That decision, that sign off? It probably is. I would.
Yeah, I would have said no, but then based on just his actions and some of the other stuff that's come out, the karaoke, that could have been right in his wheelhouse.
I know. That's why I'm like he might have been super invested in the First
Yeah,
Tee MC. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
So I mispronounced it's hold on, I gotta listen to the
Well,
Sassoon
this
City.
okay. This is tough when the mea culpas flow off the mea culpas.
Sassoon. I knew this one in the moment. I said, I know I'm messing up the pronunciation here. I've never heard it pronounced. I've just read it, Randy. Just read it. And I've seen it on
Hmm.
maps, driven through there. Just read it. Sassoon City. So, which is like the California Forever thing that those, kind of the tech utopian guys are trying to create. And then, Randy, this isn't necessarily a mea culpa, but it's been weighing heavily on me, and I just need to get it off my chest. I found myself rooting for Texas A&M the other night when they played Texas.
Whoa. Um. Okay. Never thought we'd get to this point. Let's dive into this just a little bit. I was in a household rooting
I'm sure
very
you were.
much for Texas. All right. Do you think this is a reflection of how much more likable Texas A&M is under Mike Elko, or is this a reflection that the University of Texas football program is just not likable at the moment
I
with
think it's kind of a
Sark and
combination
Art?
of both. I don't think there's anything like distasteful about the, the Texas Longhorns program. I've kind of soured on Sark a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe a little bit tired of the Arch Manning hype, and then almost the whiplash from people shitting all over him, and it's like, no, he's just a young quarterback, right? He's tough. I thought he played well in that game. A little bit maybe is just dissatisfaction with the martyrdom that we're seeing from Texas as far as, hey, we played Ohio State first game, we're getting penalized that. And it's like, no, you're getting penalized for like losing to a horrible Florida team and like looking like shit in a couple other games along the way here too.
Yeah.
Um, and then, yeah, I think a lot of it is just, oh, listen, Texas A&M, one of the biggest collections of weirdos and that, known to man, right?
Undisputed,
Yeah,
undisputed.
just
Right.
cringeworthy behavior going on left and right. But I like Elko. I'm a huge, I liked him at Duke. And then I like Marcel Reed. He reminds me of Lamb Lamb. He's just
Wow.
exciting. He's
High
dynamic. He's
praise.
he's electric. He's small. He's kind of nebbish. He's tough. I just like watching him. I like Concepcion, the receiver. I don't know. They play the game the right way, I think.
They they are yeah, they that jumped off the TV to me. They're fast, they hit, they're well coached. I agree. I am impressed with Texas A&M football, which is just tough to say in its own right. I found myself though just kind of bandwagon rooting for Texas. So I didn't quite get there, but I think this TC. I think this honestly it shows a lot of growth and maturity from you to be able to admit this, and I hope people realize we these opinions that we hold. Our minds are flexible. We're willing to change positions when it's called for. So I think this is strength and growth on your part, if
Thank you.
anything
Now,
else.
if I start glazing Baylor or Penn State or Brian Kelly or something like that, then we've got issues, and we'll have to definitely call ServPro in for a total disaster and restoration cleanup
Yeah.
job. But in the meantime, I think this one's level-headed, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
So we think well, I guess we got a sports section. I was going to ask
Okay.
you some college football questions, but
Okay.
we can save that.
Yeah. So that's our mea culpa. Unless you have anything to get off your chest.
No, I don't really. I was trying to think. I guess I apologize if I've missed any apologies that I owe. I feel like the one that was just eating at me was that Federico Pena
That was
mispronunciation.
a
I
big
got
one.
that one off last week, so I think I think I'm good for now. So I appreciate the opportunity.
And actually, I'd like to take this moment to. I put this later in the agenda, but let's just address it now. Uh, Poosh keeps sending over stuff that's clearly from parody accounts.
But he doesn't realize that they're parody accounts.
Uh, well, first of all, he was insistent. What was the controversy last week on the text thread that he was insistent upon the 49ers punter punts an
Oh,
uncatchable ball?
yeah, like the 3rd muff punt from the Browns, Pooch called it an uncatchable ball that Thomas Morstead punts. And then I was like, "Well, Pooch, I don't think it's, like, uncatchable. I think the Browns are just not very good and they're messing up." And he was like, "No, it's uncatch like, it's" he was, like, fighting me on, like I'm like, I think there is a universe where that ball could be caught." And he was like, "No, it's uncatchable." It was a really weird conversation.
And
Tron at
then he
one
got
point
into,
chimed in. He was like, "Pooch, are you okay? Like, what is going on?"
and then he started saying, "Well, you've never fielded an NFL punt." It's like, "Yeah, you haven't either, Poosh."
I
So
almost let me
this was on
find
the
this.
back of the Niners. Niners are second overall in teams.
Yeah.
Kind of expected, value added from teams basically. So, and then Poosh sent over one from what was it, Wesley Steinberg? Um, that this guy's purporting to be a New York Giants and an NFL insider, and it was that Abdul Carter, a noted light body. We're not fans of Abdul Carter anyway on the trap draw, but that he had been suspended for which he was suspended for what, the first quarter or first half of
Our
the
first
game
drive. Yeah, yeah. There was a
last week,
suspension. Yeah.
um, for watching porn, for gooning in a in a team meeting. It
Oh my
really
god.
tickled Neil. Neil was quite
Well, the
chuffed
word
by it.
gooning is, that's an automatic chuckle. And it
Uh,
turned out to be totally fake. And Poosh.
Like, one glance at this guy's timeline, and it's like macaque in her ass.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, and then he keeps sending stuff over, and he prefaces it by saying, "I don't even care if this is fake." And it's like, well, Poosh, now we just don't know what I can't trust anything you send over now.
Yeah. Like, now I just gotta
Uh,
turn this thread off, and then Sturm left a thread at one point. What was that, on Thanksgiving Day?
oh yeah, as the Niners or the Cowboys game
Packers.
was kind
Yeah.
of getting, or the Packers. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Packers Lions. Yeah.
God, we were nervous. It was a commish situation all over again. Uh,
Yeah.
but Sensei came back in the chat. I still don't exactly know what happened. I don't know if he was just trying to like silence his phone or if he hit a wrong
I
button
think he was
or
winding us
what.
up.
Yeah. That
So,
was that was a close call. Here's the vaunted uncatchable punt text exchange. Poosh was just glazing the Niners hashtag teams, and I said, Poosh, I think this is more like a Browns team's failure. And he said, Morstead though kicks an uncatchable ball. To which I laughed and I said, I think the Browns just stink. And Pooh said, "It's true!" Explanation point! Explanation point! I punted in high school. It's an art. Again, explanation points. I said, "I think it's catchable, though." He said, "You've never fielded an NFL punt and never will." And to which Tron chimed in, "Neither have you, Poosh." He said, "Exactly. I didn't say it was catchable." And then we were all like, what are we even what is going on?" And to which he said, "You said it was catchable." And I said, "Objectively, I think the ball was catchable."
it
And
might be
this was
tougher to
just
catch than
right.
a regular ball, but
But I said, we cannot label this an impossible ball to catch." And Pusha said, "We'll never know." So that, yeah.
God. Speaking of punters, the Jags punter, he got accused by one of the Titans special teamers of accusing to kill the guy in the Titans, which I thought was awesome from a punter.
How did that come up? What was the situation?
It was in the it was like post round or post game media session, and because Logan Cook was defending Wingard, one of our safeties, and yeah, and then LaQuinn Allen got into a scuffle. There's no love lost between the Titans and the Jags. Um, but yeah, we'll get there. And then actually Brian Moorman, the punter that got laid out by Sean Taylor
Yeah.
in the Pro Bowl, like one of my it was like it was like Pete Rose laying that guy out at
Ray
home plate
Fosse, of course. Yeah, yeah.
in the All-Star
Oh, in
game.
the Pro Bowl. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Sean Taylor, same thing. Like I just realized that that guy lives in Jacksonville. It was like right down the road.
Huh.
So,
Uh,
um,
what any reaction to this Jawan Jennings? It sounds like he might be a real wild card out on the field. He's getting called out by the Browns. He's getting punched by some
yeah, so
other
what? He
guy
got hit in
punched
the
him in the
nuts
nuts. A
by
Panthers guy.
somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. No comment.
One of the
He seems
Browns
like kind
guys
of a
called him,
strange
quote, "a
guy.
hoe."
Just kind of going around right now. Lane Kiffin got called a hoe. Uh, yeah, strange times. Third and Jawan, we call him.
Of course.
All the faithful, all my fellow Niners fans. But no comment. I gotta dig further.
Okay. All right. All right.
So, I was gonna say what kind of off, kind of off track here.
Well,
Uh,
we've put the mea culpas to bed. Where should we
yeah,
yeah,
half an hour in.
where do you wanna go? Thank you to ServPro, servpro.com, 1-800-ServPro.
How'd you fill up the windshield time to and
Uh,
from
yeah, so the
Texas?
drive.
You and Arthur, the road dog.
The road dog. Yeah, I wish I had a more interesting answer to this. Honestly, just listen to a shit ton of podcasts is how I filled up the time. On the drive down, it was the wife and I and Arthur, and my wife's great. She allows me to just kind of listen to whatever I want when I'm driving, and she'll put in headphones and she listens to, I think all she does is listen to like murder podcasts and Bravo TV podcasts is kind
Okay.
of, I think, the extent of her rotation. But we did listen to it was perfect timing. We listened to the chop session with you and DJ together on the drive down, which was nice. On the way back, it was just me and Arthur, the road dog. And so what a blessing it is to have a dog in the car with you. Arthur's a great car dog. He really enjoys the car. Anytime I'm running errands around Denver, I'll bring him with me. He loves hanging his head out the window. And on the long car rides, like he literally we just make, we put a little blanket down in the back seat. He just lays down and we'll go hours and hours without making a sound, without anything. And to the point where I'm like, I feel like I should pull over to let him go to the bathroom. Like he's not the one whining or, starting to get fidgety. So, but yeah, it was just podcast TC. Like Monday is a great day to drive back because I feel like most of the shows I follow and listen to are refreshing. And so I mean, I was just plowing through. Gave the NLU Sunday Pod a listen. Gave Bill Simmons Guess the Lines with Cousin Sal. That's a couple hours.
Mm.
I'm listening to a Cincinnati soccer podcast. Bomani Jones. I got the Prof G Markets podcast. I had a couple downloaded there. A couple New York Times interview episodes I
Love
had
it.
downloaded. Kind of honestly clearing out
It's a
the
grab bag.
the queue a little bit, which felt good. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
episodes that I was just like, because a normal week you just don't have enough time. Like I'm not in my car enough, or I'm not.
Yeah.
I'll listen to podcasts like when I go out on a walk, but otherwise it's tough to kind of get to listen to all of them.
What's your stop strategy? You trying to eat certain places or
I didn't really have a good strategy. The wife loves Taco Bell, so we did Taco Bell on the way down.
Taco
On
Bell?
the
I've
way
I've been on a big Taco Bell kick the last 6 months. It's so good, man.
it is good. It's just, like, consistent, it
Yeah.
just it hits. On the way back, I actually skipped lunch, so I my mother-in-law cooked a couple breakfast tacos as I was out the door, and then I grabbed a coffee on the road, and that honestly took me to dinner time. What did I do for dinner 2 nights ago? Oh, I ran back Taco Bell. Yeah, I stopped at Taco Bell, and then on the second day,
What's your
I
order at
did
Taco Bell?
I usually do 2 soft tacos, some type of, like, what do they call um, it's like tacos, but you have, like, the soft shell and the hard
Oh,
shell.
the chalupa?
Is it the
The
chalupa or
cheesy
cheesy
gordita
gordita
crunch?
crunch? Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
get a cheesy gordita crunch, and then I usually get, like, a quesadilla or something.
yeah. I'm a
Um
big just soft taco, double meat with supreme, but Ben has this on when we went to Nebraska on the way back, or we just ate at Taco Bell on the way to the airport, which is kind of a risky proposition, but, they have these spicy potatoes. They have a spicy potato taco, but you can just put them on whatever. So you do spicy potatoes with,
Oh,
chicken or with
interesting.
beef. Awesome.
It's not like a breakfast. You can get it all
It's not
day?
yeah, it's not breakfast specific, so you can kinda do it any time of the day.
Huh.
Uh, Total unlock from Ben. Have to give him massive, massive props there.
Alright. I'll have to
So,
start yeah, because I always feel like I'm looking to try something new at Taco Bell, and I never
yeah.
know what to do. Uh, the other place I stopped was Culver's, which I don't go to
I've
Culver's
never
a
been.
lot, but when I oh, really?
Yeah, there's one nearby, I've just never been.
Yeah, I think they're good. I enjoy the burger. They do the cheese curds. They're
Yeah.
they're kind of I think they're a Wisconsin company, and like a really good milkshake. I mean, I felt like a total fat boy, day 2 of being in the car forever, and you're wolfing down hamburger, cheese curds, and a milkshake, but they are good.
You're right, they are a Wisconsin company.
Okay.
Uh, yeah,
It
prairie
it's
juice
just a little
back.
bit it just is a touch, I think, upstream from your Wendy's,
Yeah,
McDonald's, Burger Kings. They're kinda trying to position I wouldn't go so far as, they're not like a Shake Shack or I'm trying to think of, like, another national, like, burger.
like
I
Five
I would
Guys.
yeah, I would honestly put it kind of on a level with In-N-Out, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's like the Midwest In and Out.
Yeah, but a much bigger menu than In-N-Out.
Yeah. My parents had a bad experience at Cracker Barrel on their way down a couple days prior to Thanksgiving. I think it was like, Tuesday afternoon driving from Atlanta. They stopped in Tifton, Georgia at Cracker Barrel. Didn't even get their food. It was like they were so backed up, they couldn't even get their food, and, I tried to get my dad all wound up and tell him that it was because they went woke and all that stuff, but, uh, he was totally unaware of that entire fiasco. He was like, "What are you talking about?" They went woke? Like,
What
I was like,
what
"The
what
logo thing, DT got involved." It was all over,
I was
it was like
how
a
did you
rallying cry.
yeah, how was that missed?
And he's like, "Yeah, sometimes I just," because I don't think he watches as much cable news as he used to, but,
Okay,
he's much more into the woodworking and kinda niche stuff now.
that's
But,
great.
yeah, yeah. But, yeah, they were really disappointed in their last experience at Cracker Barrel. So,
Hate that.
but,
I almost stopped at this Waffle House that honestly turned out to be, like, too shitty even for my Waffle House standards.
that's
So,
pretty shitty.
that's pretty shitty, exactly.
Did you just drive by, like, do a once over
It was
and
off the exit, because I was getting
okay,
off the exit to go eat, and, that's when I opted for Taco Bell instead. This Waffle House looked and there were, like, no real cars in the parking lot, so it just didn't give me a good feeling, but
okay,
Waffle House would that's a nice stop every now and again on a road
for
trip.
sure, for sure. Let's think, we're talking about this fast food, something that's not, kind of down market or unhealthy is Stone Creek coffee. Quick shout out to our friends
Fabulous.
at Stone Creek. It's officially gift giving season. We've got a public service announcement. Stop giving people they don't. Sorry, stop giving people stuff they do not want. Novelty socks, tchotchkes quickly end up in a landfill. Gift cards lack personality. If you want to give a gift people will actually enjoy every single day, and get them some legitimately great coffee. I couldn't agree more, and you can kind of tailor it to their personality and their tastes as well. Stone Creek Coffee has you covered. Beans roasted in Milwaukee, sourced responsibly from farms around the world. They've got dialed in blends, single origin micro lots, the whole deal. This is the kind of gift that doesn't get regifted, doesn't sit in a drawer. It gets brewed, it gets savored, it gets used and appreciated. And it's super easy. You can grab a couple bags, a holiday gift box, or even set somebody up with a subscription. So great coffee just shows up at their door each month. That is elite gift giving. So show people you actually care about them. Give them coffee, a gift they'll genuinely be pumped to receive. Go to stonecreekcoffee.com and get your holiday situation sorted. Don't forget to use the code NLU 2025 for 15% off your first order. You also get free shipping on orders over 45 bucks. Big thanks to Stone Creek for supporting the pod these last 2 years. And yeah, NLU 2025 for 15% off your first order if you haven't gotten involved already.
Wonderful. It's a great, like, stocking stuffer or, if you're doing a little secret Santa gift exchange and you need something, wonderful, wonderful gift idea. I had a Stone Creek coffee this morning. Cream City, baby, TC. Cream City.
You're still on the Cream City.
Yeah.
Love that. Let's do some quick thrills and delights.
Yeah, I want you to lead here. This was uh your idea, your prompting. I'm fascinated where I have a few, but I want to turn it to you, baby. What walk me through them. Let's go number
Yeah.
one.
Number 1, Randy, this really, really thrilled me, delighted me, confused me for a time
Okay.
this week. Um, this was Tuesday or sorry, this was Monday afternoon, evening, like 5:30, 6 p.m. This big box shows up at the exact same time that Alex is coming home with the kids from the grocery store. They were running some errands, and it's Easy Plant. I've never ordered anything off Easy Plant. I don't know what Easy Plant is. This thing looks like a box that a big golf bag would come in, basically, kind of similar height, maybe 5 feet long and foot and a
Okay.
half, 2 feet wide, kind of thing. And I open it up, and it's a Norfolk Island pine.
And you have
No,
no idea who it's from.
no
This
gift,
was not
no,
an order of
no.
yours.
Yeah, no, nothing. I got the Norfolk Island pine in the backyard. It's growing like crazy. It's majestic. It's like we've got this kind of big bay window that kind of looks out on the backyard, and it's like right in the middle of that. It's like the centerpiece. this one, I think meant for inside, and then we can eventually move it outside. But just one of the more thoughtful things I've ever received from anybody. I think the first time anybody's ever given me a plant, and I was so confused. And at first, I thought it was our shithead friend Lane because it just seemed like something Lane would do.
Honestly, it'd be one of the more thoughtful things Lane has ever
Yeah,
done
and Lane's
for
great.
any
Like
of
Lane
us.
sends
Lane is
thoughtful
great.
thank you notes, and
Yes.
I haven't gotten his Christmas card yet for this year. He always sends a great Christmas card. So I immediately texted him, and he was like, "No, but that's sick. Like I wish somebody would send me a tree." So then I posed it, So then I posed it. I just let our Slack know. Nobody chimes in. Everybody's like, "Man, that's sick." So then I reached out to the company, and I'm like, "Hey, here's the order number. This showed up at my house. I have no idea who it's from. Can you just give me a hint even?" And they're like, "We can't tell you the last name, but it's from Cody." I'm like, "Huh."
Huh.
So I
We
reached
know
out
a
to
Cody.
Cody. I called
Yeah.
Cody on Monday night, and just like, "Hey, like what, like you gotta explain this one to me." He calls me back, and he he's like, "Oh yeah, like that was like a housewarming gift for you." And they were sold out for like 4 months. And so they finally got it in, and it was supposed to show up like next week, and it just showed up early. Like it says here, it was still like in the warehouse, and they're like in the process of shipping it. He's like, you just talk about those trees all the time, and I just figured I'd get you one for your office or your living room too. So just an awesome gift. So thank you to
Well,
Cody. That
yeah,
was that was
that's
truly a
so nice.
delight. Yeah.
I have gotten I think I got an easy plant, not a tree though. I got like a smaller house plant. Um, Actually, my buddy gets double shout out. CJ sent when moved into the new house. Not the one I'm currently in, but the one down the street that we were in a year ago. And I was just amazed about how they can just ship a plant, like, just
Right?
the concept of shipping a plant to somebody and it arriving, and like how easy it was for me to unbox it and kind of get it in a container, and it like they give you the specific watering instructions, the care instructions. Yeah, it's a
And I
great
think you
gift.
only have to water it like once a month because it takes the water underneath in the pot and like, you know, drains it regularly. So it doesn't it's I don't know, it's an interesting thing. It like self waters basically.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, killer treats. I mean, it's like healthier than the ones that I would buy at Ace or a local nursery too. So
All
it's got
right.
all sorts of different trunks coming off of it versus just like the big one I have out in the backyard has a single trunk. And some of my favorite Norfolk Island pines, there's like three different trunks coming off of the same base. So,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Well, how cool. That is a true thrill. Like getting a Norfolk Island pine delivered to your door. That it
yeah.
doesn't get much better than that.
You wanna weave it, or you want me to just keep firing here?
I'll weave one in here.
Yeah.
Mine's not gonna like rise up to the level, but if anybody's watching this episode, you'll see I have a sweater on. TC, it always thrills me to get the winter clothes out from storage. It had been a pretty mild, like Denver. They got a snowfall when I was down in Texas over Thanksgiving, but truly, like last night, today, the first snowfall in Denver since last winter. So what better way to celebrate? Get that nice heavy sweater on today. I'm gonna put on some boots. I'm gonna after we're done recording, I might go and walk down the street and get myself a second cup of coffee. I have had my Stone Creek already, but just want to get out in the snow a little bit, TC.
I'm so jealous it's snowing there. Like, snow's fun in December,
This time
even
of year,
into
it's
the first
it's
half of
awesome.
January.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then it
yeah.
kinda sucks, like, the further along you get. But
You get
yeah,
into
what's
like
the
February, March, and unless you're like,
yeah.
keep snowing in the mountains, of course, but I don't really need it day to day much.
Yeah. Are you planning on getting any turns in this year, or is that kind of a fraught proposition with
It
the
feels a
kiddo
little
coming?
fraught at the moment. Yeah, so the wife our due date is February 1st. I'm hoping there might be a day I can sneak up in January, just up and back in a day. I'd love to get a couple days
No
in.
season pass
Um,
this year or anything,
but
though?
yeah, I did not buy a season pass just because I did not think I would get
It's
my
kinda
full money's worth.
liberating, right? You can go explore some new spots.
Yeah, I was thinking I want to look on the website at like A Basin, see if they sell any like 3 packs or something like that. I think that would be the sweet spot for me this year.
I want you to go down to
I
Monarch
know.
Mountain,
If it weren't such a drive, there Monarch, and I think if you keep going, there's this place,
Wolf
Wolf
Creek.
Creek,
Yeah,
that's supposed to be, like, under the radar, but just awesome snow,
epic snow
and
down there. Yeah,
yeah, I know. I am not a very adventurous, like, I'm just not naturally adventurous like that.
yeah.
I fully admit I'm like a fair weather skier too. Like, I really want good snow, and I'm just not good when the conditions are so. Like, I don't love it enough, I guess,
Is
to
it
just feel like I
is
have
it
to go.
catching up this year? Like, I know it was a really
Yeah,
shitty
this week
start to
is
the season.
helping.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they're still behind. Honestly, not having a pass and not feeling like I'm gonna be able to ski, I'm a little out of the loop maybe, but
yeah.
I think most resorts are certainly open now. Just hoping for a few dumpopotamuses to roll through.
Something that like didn't thrill or delight me in the moment, but it is now. Now that we're on the other side of it, my dad helped me like just organize my garage. It's kind of the
Mm,
one thing
such a good
since we
feeling.
moved a few months back of like, all right, before my office was in the garage, now we have a garage that I have an office and we have my garage. And so it's kind of one of those things of there was just boxes and clutter everywhere and it was stressing me out.
Yeah.
So, like we got into a shouting match at one point on strategy and that sort of thing. Alex came out, we got into a fight, just a verbal argument there on that stuff. And then at the end of the day, it was like, all right, I'm, committed to throwing this stuff away, taking this stuff to Goodwill, giving this to the neighbor, that sort of thing. I got rid of my snowboard, the Black Mamba. Just
Oh,
the last
wow.
few times I've gone out, I've
Yeah,
rented newer
it's so
boards and
easy just to, yeah.
yeah, and it's just so much like the newer boards are so much shorter and the shaping's different. Like the Black Mamba was big mountain, such a fast board, and I'm just not in good enough shape to to you know handle that thing anymore.
Yeah.
So
Um, there are a few better feelings than a good clean out of
yeah,
garage, closet, that's such a good feeling once you get through it.
yeah.
I'm envious.
Um,
Do you use your garages? Do you pull cars into your garage, or is your garage more just like you have stuff in there and you
that's the
park in a
goal.
driveway or on the street?
Yeah, we've got like trying to get a handle on like Solly's been deep in the gladiator stuff. My dad's got all this alpha stuff at home, and he's like, "I'll bring stuff down next time, and we can really like tackle the kids' sports stuff and scooters and bikes and stuff." So, but yeah, we keep we have a 6-seater golf cart. We've had that for 4 or 5
Or
years now.
yeah.
We keep that in there, and then we could pull one of the cars in there, which is nice. So,
Okay.
um, but yeah, I think next thrill and delight I have. I went yesterday to send something to a friend in Scotland, and I had to go to the UPS store. I hate sending things, but I get such a thrill out of walking into the UPS store, specifically the one by my house, store 1707. I want to shout these guys out. My guy Rue in there and his team. I don't think there's a team of guys on the planet outside of maybe some, SEAL Team 6 or special forces, that handles their business quite like these guys. They just you're in there, all every station that they have is staffed and someone is in position. They're quick with the keyboards, they're problem solvers in there. And it's commerce happening. They tackle all the, a lot of the Amazon or a lot of the returns, like, if you've canceled your cable and you're sending a cable box back, they're just like,
Yeah.
"Hey, no,
Yeah.
like, we'll take it from there." But, they're like, "Oh, like, you want this thing to get there, like, next week?" Well, like, that's like $220. Like, honestly, man, here's what I would do. I would go to DHL down the street and, like, they can hook you up with this. And I was like, just helping you work the problem and
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, and they do it with a smile, and they're proficient and efficient. So I want to shout those guys out.
That's awesome to hear. You know, I am so sorry, I've forgotten our guy's name, but,
AJ.
AJ, the
AJ was at the
Atlantic
one on
Beach
Atlantic
store.
Boulevard. Yeah.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
Arthur's fired up. I think the mailman must be here.
The postal
Apologies on
service
that.
used to be
Yeah.
sick, maybe
Which
sick.
they're delivering in the snow, you know? This is a good day to test all the conditions. So, yeah, we would beat up AJ's store when I lived down there. I would go in there quite often, shipping something or needing something. TC, I have to admit, and I hope AJ's not listening, I hope your guy Rue's not listening. I was going to a UPS store near me. The big thing I have to do each month is I have to send a fax, and I don't have a fax
Mm.
machine at my house. Um, but I have to send a fax in every month, and I finally have figured out there's a FedEx store over in Cherry Creek that's a little further away. But why I go to the FedEx is it's all self-guided. I can send the fax on my own. I don't have to get in a line and have somebody help me to just send the fax. And so I feel a little bit like I'm cheating on our hitters, my hitters at UPS because I've been a UPS guy for a while now, but I do need to get that off my chest. I've been going to
Okay.
FedEx for my monthly faxes.
Texas A&M, FedEx.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Save space, man.
Yeah. All right, another thrill I have, TC, this is gonna be the first. This is almost a pre-thrill, in a sense. So, I mentioned I got home yesterday. My wife's still down in Texas. She's staying for a few extra days with her family, but we're gonna be here for Christmas, and this is gonna be the first time I have been where I live for Christmas. And so my wife, she insists we're gonna get some kind of tree,
Gotta get a real
and
tree, Randy.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we're gonna start decorating, and I'm pretty thrilled to the feeling of just being at home in town for Christmas Eve, Christmas, the day after Christmas. Like it's a totally new experience for me, and it's already starting to fill me with thrill and delight. And
Do you
so
have any
I
ornaments?
we do have some ornaments. My
Okay.
mom has given me a bunch of ornaments that kind of have meant a lot to me through the years, stuff from, playing basketball or certain
Yeah.
trips or going somewhere, whatever. Um, but that's part of the fun. The wife and I, we've like, well, we got to start picking out some ornaments. When we go places, it's a good little tchotchke to get. She just got one at HEB down in Texas. So we're gonna hang an HEB ornament. We got one
Oh,
in
that's
New
trap draw
Zealand
thematic too.
on our honeymoon. Yeah, so that's been fun, but it's gonna come to fruition, and I'm just curious what else she wants to do as far as decorating, and if this is gonna go outside at all. We have, like, a string of lights on our little front porch that are
Uh,
year round. I can just plug them in, plug them, and they give some porch light, and I guess they could be construed this time of year as, like, Christmas lights, but it's not really that. So I'm curious how much we'll lean into it, but, truly thrilled to be home for Christmas this year. And it did jog my memory. I'm curious what your household is doing as far as any Christmas lights, if you guys are outsourcing that again this year.
well, we're definitely real tree people. We go and get a tree. We do it a little bit later than most. Like in Atlanta, I remember we used to do it, right after Thanksgiving or this week. We wait a little bit in Florida just because it's hotter, and like
Yeah.
it's you just kind of trees dry out a little bit more. But yeah, we always get a tree. Um, Alex, I came home from I think I was playing golf. I came home and the guys that she had secretly hired to uh put up the
Put the
Christmas
lights up.
lights, like
Yeah.
the team of 2 or 3 guys were here. My parents were here. It was just I was like, "Oh, we're doing that again. Okay, cool." And so, yeah, so we have that on some of the eaves of our house and along the roof line, which again, I'm not doing those lights, but like we have some more bushes now, or like I would like to, I'll throw some lights on our Norfolk Island pine in the backyard.
Yeah.
I'll even
Yeah.
throw some ornaments on my new Norfolk Island pine from Cody, you know?
Sure.
But yeah, I'd like to just 'cause I like to keep it simple. I like the white, just the kinda natural white light Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Um, so I've got some podocarpus in the front yard and some sea grape leaves that I can put those on, but yeah, just kinda didn't even have the option to, everything was and then Alex does an inflatable reindeer Santa because because
What do we
because
think of
Goosey
those?
gets a big kick out of those. Those things suck, man. They're
Yeah.
annoying. You hear the little fan going. It's not
Yeah.
good. It's not good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little that's not quite my speed, but, for the little kids, I guess they're great.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Well, I'm thrilled in advance for you on that.
Yeah, thank you. 42 years. This will be I mean, obviously, except for, like, growing up at home, but in
Yeah.
my adult life, I guess, this will be the first time not traveling anywhere and spending Christmas where I live,
Yeah.
which is
That's
fun.
fun. That's
Yeah.
cool. So we took the kids to Pictures with Santa Claus over the weekend. We went to coffee place called Southern Grounds. They have a courtyard up in Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach.
DJ's
Southern
favorite
Southern Grounds is like the
DJ's
opposite of
favorite
Stone
spot.
Creek. They
Yeah.
have like just not good coffee. It's just like overpriced. It's just not a good spot. And they kind of
It's frustrating because it should be awesome.
yes, and the
It's
courtyard
like
is unbelievable.
yeah, they
Yeah.
have a wonderful courtyard. It's this intimate little coffee shop in a pedestrian, like, shopping
Anyway, yeah.
walkway. It's everything about it should be cool, and it just totally fails to rise to
And
that.
I'm not trying to shit on like a local small business. It's just they moved in across the street from Bold Bean. Like that was like an act of aggression, of hostility that really has pissed me off.
Mhm.
So that's kind of, I think they've kind of got it coming a little bit. But so Gustav and Freddie sat next to Santa there. And I asked Gustav, hey, like, what did you ask for? He's like, oh, I asked for LeJohntay Wester jersey. And he's like the kick returner for the Baltimore Ravens.
Teams, baby, teams.
I'm like, you asked him for a LeJohntay Wester jersey? He's like, yeah, like yeah, he went to Colorado and so he's been kind of a fan for a few years and yeah, he just every time like we were watching the Bengals the other night, the Bengals Ravens game and Wester's back there and Goosey went nuts and so I was, honestly, I may get him a
Where
Cam
does
Little jersey.
that start from? How is this guy even on his radar?
'Because of Colorado. He was one of the receivers for
Oh,
Colorado.
gotcha. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
so and he's,
alright.
Goosey like, my wife went to Colorado, big
Yeah,
big,
yeah, yeah.
Buffaloes fan. So, yeah, but he's just got this very specific memory of, 'cause he wears a jersey, like, pretty much every day,
Sure.
along with, like, these long socks above his knees that he he's funny, man, and, I'd like to get him a Cam Little or Logan Cook jersey just to really solidify the Jaguars teams.
Mhm.
So,
God, a little kid that appreciates teams. That's you're raising
yeah.
them the right way, TC.
Exactly,
You
exactly.
should
I mean,
be
shit,
very
maybe I should
proud.
get him a young Hui Koo, jersey after
God,
that
his
pick the other
jump
night.
that was that was amazing. That was amazing. What was my I'll just give you one more little thrill here. Thanksgiving related. So a tradition in our family, and this is all thanks to my mother, but she puts together a quiz for the family every Thanksgiving. It's this 15 question quiz that she prints out, and it's just the most random collection of questions you can ever imagine. Anywhere from like which NFL team has the most Super Bowl appearances to name, I think, name 8 countries that end in LAND. Um,
Yeah.
so it's all over the place, but it's a family tradition, and she mailed copies of the quiz to Texas because I'm in Texas. We have other cousins that she mails it to. She's doing it in Cincinnati, and it's
How
just
many
really
golf
fun.
courses are there in Michigan?
How many golf? That would be a great quiz question. Some of them are like related to something somebody might be doing in the family. We didn't really have one of those this year, but I feel like with my wife's family, their New Zealand ties, there's more like New Zealand tie-in now. Anyway, she's literally been doing this quiz for 30 years or so.
Yeah.
And it's just right after you eat your Thanksgiving meal. I always look forward to doing the quiz, and she won't send the answer key 'cause she's like, you got to call me for the answers. And then, going through the answers with her on speakerphone with everybody moaning and groaning and, oh, I should have had that one. It's very delightful. And one of my, I think in totality, Thanksgiving is truly the holiday I just love and look forward to the most. And this year's Thanksgiving at my in-laws was like so low key, just watched football, had a nice meal. Like it just was a perfect Thanksgiving for me. So I wanted to shout that one out.
Awesome. Love that. And I got one more thing that's just been delighting me lately.
Okay.
It's not a new commercial. They've had it for a couple seasons, I think. That Cheez It commercial
Oh,
where
I always I with what's
well,
the what's
there's the
like
one
the
with
with the
Reese
music
Davis.
and the music kind of like culminates, right?
Yeah, there's the one that's like the pump up speech, and he's like, "You get out there, you
Yeah.
be the cheesiest." It's like
Yeah.
I'm always the cheesiest coach.
I was born to be the cheesiest.
I love that one. It's just
I do
such a
too. I do
puts a
too.
smile on my face.
Yeah. That's so funny you mentioned that because, the other one that I have to cop to enjoying are most of the Dr. Pepper Fansville commercials,
Yeah,
and I don't know if I'm on an island on
like the
this.
hot seat one where
The
like
hot
there's
seat one's
literally the
good.
fire.
The
Yeah.
the one that really got me was the kids doing the, like, lemonade stand sale, and the guy comes and he's like, "I'll buy, I'll contribute $1." And they're like, "What? You don't want us to have a successful quarterback or running back?" And then one of the kids yells at the guy, he's like, "You're a casual." Um, I just really I think those are, like, so on the nose. I credit Dr. Pepper and their ad agency. Those are really good.
I
And
would
I
say on
hate
the
that they, like,
opposite.
suck me in
Yeah,
every time.
yeah. I'd say on the opposite side of the spectrum, the State Farm commercial with Megan Trainor and Patrick Mahomes, like, makes me wanna,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
just do self-harm. I mean, it is, like, I hate that song. I can't stand her. I can't stand him. It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
nails
yeah,
on a chalkboard. It's awful.
yeah. God, we were lamenting must not have been a good ad because now it's out of my mind,
We
but
should
I
do
feel like I saw
thrills, delights, and laments.
yeah, I feel like we saw a couple ads, through watching football this weekend where I was like, "I am good on whatever this is," but thankfully it's left my mind. Yeah, that Trainer Mahomes one, no, no, thank you.
This is Patrick. He does sports. Like, God.
It's so
Oh.
great. The Chiefs are gonna miss the playoffs. I feel it in my bones, TC. It's gonna be wonderful.
I think the Cowboys are, I think they're gonna surprise
They
some
got to
people. I think they're gonna
look.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So,
yeah.
let's thank our last sponsor. That's Whoop. Today's episode is brought to you by Whoop, the official fitness wearable, the Ryder Cup, PGA Tour. The all new Whoop is here, only wearable that turns your health and fitness data into personalized guidance. 7% smaller, 14 plus days of battery life. It's taking you all the way from Austin to Denver. Like, what do your Whoop scores look like after a day of driving like that,
Um,
or a couple
I
days of
actually
driving?
had, the one I always noticed my first night, last night back in Denver, I always have a tough recovery, and I think that's just altitude related. Like
Yeah.
whenever I leave Denver for more than a couple days and come back, I never says I get a good night's sleep, but the reverse is true. Whenever I leave Denver and go somewhere else, even if I don't feel like I've slept well, I think just because I'm out of altitude, I get some good some good recovery scores. But your boy's been sleeping pretty well lately overall, which is nice. Which Whoop helps me track that. Where I've been
Oh,
failing is
jealous.
the I need to get on the strain train a little bit. I need to force myself to work out a bit. The I go to a rec center nearby and they're doing like maintenance for like 2 weeks. So like my normal gym, I just haven't been able to go. So I got to make myself get out and walk, or I don't know, tough to like jog in snow and cold weather. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of looking at my Whoop now and feeling a little guilty because my strain with just sitting in the car, and I gotta get the heart going a little bit here, TC.
I had some bad recoveries last week. I had an upper respiratory infection that Goosey got, and then Alex got, and then I got, and then now Freddie has it. just cough and sinuses. But what's your Whoop age, Randy?
My Whoop age is I'm a little younger. This is always yeah, my Whoop age is 36.6, which is
Ah,
5.5 years younger than my
I
actual
love
age.
that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it makes me feel good. I kinda thought, do they just tell everybody they're younger than what their age is? I don't know if anybody wants to admit to, like, your Whoop age is a lot older than you actually are, that might be tough. Uh, but
Well,
yeah,
if you're
it makes me
interested
feel
in
good.
giving the all new Whoop a try, go to join.whoop.com. That's WHOOP.com/NLU for a free 30-day trial. And you can also join the official NLU kind of team community by inputting code COMM dash NLU in the community tab of the app on Whoop. So thank them for their support of the trap draw, just no laying up generally. Randy, let's do some monitoring here, and then we'll get into a little sports. And I think we'll call it a day after that.
Yeah,
Um,
sounds good.
what'd you make of the whole Campbell Soup VP? I mean, this was
This
made for the
this
trap draw.
I mean, this hit our THG fantasy football text thread. Yeah, tough. I like Campbell's soup. I find
I do
myself,
too.
if I'm for or against Campbell's soup, I would say I'm for Campbell's soup. So I hated this executive. He has since left, right? Kind of unceremoniously has left the company. I don't know. I feel like that guy didn't need to be around anymore. I guess we should tell people what we're even talking about. Do we want to start there?
I think so. Yeah,
If 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 it
it's a
hasn't been on top of
recording,
people's radar, yeah.
right? That featured a conversation with a what was this guy's role? The Martin Bally, Campbell's, I would
It
say
was
at this
some
point,
type of
ex
vice
vice
president.
president
Yeah.
of IT. So I don't know
IT. Okay.
how close he was to the product itself, but he said, "quote If you look at our fucking pantry, we have shit for fucking poor people, right?" The person said. I don't buy fucking Campbell's products barely anymore. It's unhealthy. At one point in the recording of the meeting, this is per Business Insider. At one point in the recording of the meeting, which appears to take place at a restaurant, the person refers to Campbell's food as bioengineered. Even in a can of soup, I look at it and I look at bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a fucking piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. Do you? And then he
Uh,
goes on
that's
to
tough.
yeah, to, make some insensitive remarks about Indians and, some tech issues that he can't get resolved and stuff. So
Yeah.
just a tough scene. I think he's been let go. But yeah, I'm a big not a big chunky soup guy, but I do like Campbell's like old school cream of mushroom or just even tomato soup. Plus just using that stuff as base for a casserole or
That's it, green bean casserole
stock.
for
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, yeah.
Yeah.
Campbell's cream of
Um
mushroom.
And then, yeah, I think what Campbell's owns Pepperidge Farm as well.
Yeah.
Huge Pepperidge Farm guy. On the soup front, I'm more of a Progresso guy myself.
Interesting. I have not dabbled much in Progresso. I my soup, that I get from the supermarket, honestly, I I I guess Campbell's is a little like Zoolander where I'm like, I don't necessarily buy it, but I respect that they're out there making it. I tend to buy a lot of these store brand soups that are, that come in like the plastic containers,
Yeah,
right? That are
less
you can't store them
preservatives
as long, right? You just
or
gotta put them in your fridge, and you gotta have them within a couple
yeah.
days. Like, that's usually what I'm getting from the store.
There's a lemon orzo soup. This is my favorite store soup in the world. It is
Is
it's
that a
called it's
Progresso?
Greek to me. It comes in
Oh,
a light blue thing. It's this Greek style chicken soup. It's got orzo and it's just chicken broth. It's delightful, but it's very lemony and yeah, just
yeah.
Greek lemon chicken soup. If you ever
God,
see that,
my mother-in-law made it was like, I don't wanna say it was basic, but she made a turkey soup from, like, the
oh
leftovers and
yeah,
stuff. It was freaking delicious. It had orzo in it, some veg, obviously turkey, It just man, soup's the best, TC.
I
I
love
might go
soup.
get a soup today for lunch. It
Should
is
soup be
soup
on the
weather.
list of things that are sick?
I think so. Now that we're saying it, I would, and I don't think we gotta get into the specifics because people can like different kinds of soup. You like what you like, but
But just the concept of soup.
I
Yeah,
think I would vote for it.
yeah.
Absolutely.
My
Yeah.
mom used to like, one of the things she would give people for Christmas, like, amongst other things, was, like, she would make homemade toffee and then or brittle, but then she would do, like, these packets, these little baggies that would have, like, homemade chicken noodle soup,
Oh,
um, like, homemade bouillon and, it was like a little mix to make soup, a bay leaf and noodles and then this kinda homemade concoction of, like, different spices and chicken
yeah.
stock. It's cool.
That what a wonderful thing to give to people
Yeah.
too. Campbell's has this might be up your alley. I was looking besides Pepperidge Farm, Campbell's also has the Snyder's of Hanover brand.
They do.
I forget
Yeah.
where I know we had some big rejiggering of your pretzel power rankings a couple years ago, but
Yeah, I'm more in the Utz, I'm gonna mispronounce that category right now, with, their traditional hards, but Alex bought a box of Snyder's. The Utz ones come and go as far as inventory goes, whereas the Snyder's
mm,
are very,
you can
very,
count on them.
yeah, very consistent. So, Randy, in other news, this former Olympic snowboarder we've covered in the past is facing new charges, and the reward is up to $15 million to find this guy in connection with drug trafficking. He's a Canadian citizen, Olympic snowboarder. He lives in Mexico now. Witness tampering and intimidation, murder, money laundering, and drug trafficking, on top
Jesus.
of charges overseeing the operations of criminal enterprises and conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute cocaine, according to a
Mm.
DOJ thing. So, and he made the top 10 most wanted list. So this
Are they
sounds
is
like it
that
could be
still a
a. I
thing? I guess
think
it
it
must still
is.
be a thing. The top
Yeah,
10? Yeah.
yeah.
Huh.
So,
Okay.
yeah. Um, oh, did you see this was a thrill and delight, the Thanksgiving Day coup in Guinea-Bissau?
I did. I was trying to keep up with this a little bit. I some people sent me this. Listen, I think we've stated our position. Coups are I don't know who's in the right, who's in the wrong, but just generally the idea of a coup is something that tickles me. I'll just say that. And you get these military groups, especially in Africa, but certainly not limited to Africa, Asia, Middle East. Like the attire that they're wearing, straight up, is fucking sick, TC. And
Yeah,
so, yeah,
fantastic aesthetics.
you anytime there's a coup breaking, you immediately you have my attention.
Maybe future coup. The Iranian drought keeps going on. I know they got some rain and flooding maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, or 2 or 3 weeks ago, but back to, dire levels in that reservoir that
Mm, that's
supplies
tough.
Tehran. So,
Yeah.
more to come there. Uh, Another potential coup, Jersey Mike's, if,
This is
getting
an
conflicting
important story,
reports.
TC. Yeah, tell me where the current reporting stands on this, because of course Jersey Mike's, just to refresh people, Jersey Mike's was purchased. Did it go official last year or was it earlier this
Earlier this
year
year.
that
Yeah.
they were bought by a private equity group,
Not
which
just any private
immediately
equity group, Blackstone Group.
oh god, which just
Steven
immediately is like
Schwartzman.
this is gonna go in the fucking shitter. And so
You're
people are worried. What are people worried about? That they're starting to give you less meat on the sub? Is that the
Yeah.
big concern?
Ostensibly, it looks like the same amount of meat, but that they're shaving it. They're not, they're
Oh, so it's
carving
the
it a lot
thinner
thinner.
slice. Okay.
Yeah. But, yeah, so these rumors have been floating around. I had a bunch of so I posted something. There's a TikTok account, Eat Out with Jason, that he did a before and after on what it looked like pre-private equity, post-private equity. I posted that and very clearly said, "This is the number one thing on my monitoring list right now. Jersey Mike's has been one of the few bastions of quality and consistency in the world since I was a child. Too early for an official verdict, but there are some troubling signs emerging. We'll stay vigilant and focused." Like, I'm not making conclusions. I'm just
Okay.
picking stuff up. And this guy, I heard from a lot of like probably three different franchisees who personally own Jersey Mike's franchises, one in Canada, one in the Northeast, one out west, and they all said like nothing has changed, and they've gone out of their way to make sure nothing changes. Um,
Okay.
so you know, we'll keep an eye on it. And then this guy Boot Boy, or Boot Boy 2.0 on X, the Everything app, at NHL Insider Andy. He's always sliding in with Jersey Mike's updates, among other things. Big United guy as well. Uh,
Okay.
he went to the
So
one
we can
at
trust the boot boy.
yeah, we can all is well at EWR. This is the one in Terminal A. Kind of
Okay.
like this might be like the capital of like this is the canary in the coal mine if anything does go wrong. And he sent a picture and he said, "Heavy hands working the lunch shift. Have a great week, brother." And big thread about his experience there. So there were some rumors that they had changed the juice as
Oh,
well.
no.
That they went from olive oil, strictly olive oil and vinegar to a olive oil canola oil blend. I guess
Ugh,
they did that years ago.
okay.
So false alarm there. But I don't know. I'm gonna try to get Jersey Mike's. I might get Jersey Mike's tonight. Actually, I'll
I'll tell you
report
what,
back.
a Jersey Mike's, cheesesteak just hits every now and again. I don't know what it is. The cheese, the bread, it
They got
absolutely
good bread at Jersey Mike's.
yeah.
I'm a
I
number
could see that
13.
being where we gotta monitor as soon as that bread quality starts slipping, I think
Yeah,
that's gonna sound some alarm bells.
yeah, and the the Parmesan rosemary bread is next level. So,
Yeah. Well, I appreciate
um,
you staying vigilant on this topic.
yeah, I think, maybe it's something. I think the real risk lies in maybe over franchising. Like, maybe they just canvas everything too much with, there's just too many franchises out there, and they're not being selective enough on what their franchises are, but I don't think they've reached that point. There's some along the highway. I like seeing those. That's when I
Yeah.
want a Jersey Mike's. So,
We stopped for, lunch day 1 driving to Austin. We stopped at a Jersey Mike's around Colorado Springs. It's
there
great
you go.
to take in the car. Yeah.
Big Mike.
TC, I'll tell you, can I just jump in here with
Please.
you said the Jersey Mike stuff might be what you're monitoring the most right now. I just wanna fully get out in front of this. The New York Times had a thing last week on dynamic pricing
Yes.
and how dynamic pricing is gonna come, I think, everywhere
It's
eventually.
coming for all of us.
It's coming for all of us, grocery stores, convenience stores, and I just wanna be very clear out ahead of it. I think it fucking sucks, and I think it's gonna be another thing that's just like, why as a society do we allow stuff like this to happen? Like, we should be in charge of how we live. I say we, the collective people, and so, TC, I'm not saying we're in like code red emergency right now, but I'm just standing here ringing a bell, and I want to draw attention that dynamic pricing is coming, and I don't think any of us are gonna like it.
Yeah, I think it's both discriminatory and yeah, just not like we got to draw the line somewhere.
We got to draw the line. That's exactly right. We got to draw the line somewhere. Like a good, a commodity, the price should be the price, and
Totally agree.
yeah.
Totally agree.
So I just want that's where I'm going to be staying vigilant
Yeah.
for the people.
Stay on top of that, Randy.
I will.
Wolfie chimed in. He had he expressed some disappointment. He said Solly's been silent on the crypto crash. Uh,
Did
I'm
it
not sure I call
crash?
it a crash.
Yeah, what are we at?
ETC's
Uh,
at 92,000 right now.
yeah,
Uh,
I guess the crash has just been
it's down
it's kind of
14%
they've
in the
given
last
away
month.
all their gains under
Yeah.
this first like year of Trump,
Yeah.
who was
I
supposed
mean,
to be the
it was down to
secretary of state.
84 for a minute
Yeah,
there, but,
it's
I
bounced back up
still
today.
yeah, I have some secondary exposure to it. I do not own any crypto, though,
I
nor do
continue
I
not
plan
to
to.
own any crypto. Yeah, I've thought about, like, buying, like, a fund that's kinda, like,
Yeah,
Bitcoin specific, but I don't know, TC. This is gonna be one of those things, like, if I miss it, I miss it.
yeah.
I've probably already missed it. I can still sleep at night.
And this is listen, this is not financial advice for people either, just
That's
gotta
right.
get out
That's
and
right.
say that.
I'll tell you what's popping though is gold. Just straight up old school gold, I
Yeah.
believe is
Silver's
busting.
gotta be popping too, right?
I don't know that specifically, but I know gold's had a hell of a run this year.
Um, Speaking of gold, THG, we're still waiting on a THG World Cup qualifying update. US men's national team's been in his ass. Coach
Totally.
Parm.
He's been pretty silent on that. Yeah,
Yeah,
silver's been way up this year too.
yeah.
I feel like next year, I feel like 2026, we might, speaking of exposure, we might all get a little THG exposure with the World Cup and just I think, I know we always talk about bringing him back. Neither of us really want to bring him back, but I feel like we should at some point next year, around the World Cup, if nothing else.
Wolf wanted me to point out this Ethiopian volcano that erupted for the first time in 12,000 years.
You know, I think first of all, thank you to Wolfie. If we want to talk about things that are sick, like I think I would nominate a volcano. I think volcanoes are they're sick.
You talking about like any kind of volcano or
I think any
magma,
active
lava
I think
versus
any
like
active volcano that either has erupted, can erupt. I just think an erupting volcano, I just think they're sick. An
yeah.
active volcano. I think
Um
that one was going in Hawaii, wasn't it?
yeah,
That's been
Kilauea or yeah.
yeah, that's been erupting.
Yeah. And then he wanted me to point out something about New Jersey pet store fiasco, or I'm not familiar with that drama. He said so.
New Jersey pet store drama, huh? Yeah, I don't. That one
It's
hasn't.
like the New
I
Jersey
haven't.
AG fined some pet stores for breeding records, puppy health stuff. So
Huh.
yeah, I think I
Okay.
stand with the AG there.
Well, we might need a comment from Neil on this one
Yeah.
as a New Jersey resident. No.
There's a cool piece in New York Times on the secret life of a ski resort. I don't know if you saw that.
I have that saved. And I'm glad that you flagged it for the trap draw here. It's out in Utah, right? Is it Alta or
Yeah,
what?
it's Snowbird.
Snowbird. That's right.
Yeah, right next to
And it's
Alta.
kind of like a bunch of photos, and I've been meaning to come back to that and really read it and take it in.
Yeah. Yeah, just cool, like, "Hey, here's how overnight grooming works. Here's how, um,
The guys that go
lift
up in the
lines work."
cats. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that was fun. What else? Oh, there was a French farm that had I think Magic Jeff sent this over. French farm that had 90,000 euros worth of snails stolen, escargot snails.
Hmm.
Entire stock of fresh and frozen snails. Right ahead of the holiday season.
That's that's tough.
So I don't know, I don't know if you're that thief or you just are you just going nuts on escargot, or are you trying to get those back in the market
Are you
somewhere?
moving those? Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd love to
That
talk to somebody that's, like, stolen something at scale like this.
yeah.
Just like, how do you move it? How
If
do you
you've
go
stolen
about
something at scale,
Yeah,
call
yeah,
our listener line.
yeah, and maybe you've served time, I'm not
We had Joey Ferrari on earlier this year, like, on the NLU podcast. He did
yeah.
a decade in the federal pen. He was delightful to talk to.
I guess it's like things like food items, or yeah, anything in bulk quantity. Like what? Okay, I
Yeah,
have these now in my possession. Like now what? I guess that's where I'm fascinated.
yeah,
How you go about, like, is this all just like dark web? Is it like networks where you know the right people know you're gonna get these snails and then they're gonna move them, to a different country and sell them? I just don't know how any of that works.
yeah.
I'm
Dirty, dirty stuff.
curious. Yeah.
Deej sent over a big. piece from the Atlantic. I haven't read it yet, hand up, but kinda saving this one for, like, over a
I was gonna
glass of
say, this
wine.
feels like I might, like, clear my evening tonight and just give this one a read.
Yeah.
I feel like this is gonna piss me off.
It's called Accommodation Nation: America's Colleges Have an Extra Time on Tests Problem by Rose Horowitz. But yeah, that
Let's just get out in front of it. If you have a legitimate learning disability, we are not making light of that. But this smells TC like people who are abusing the service dog
yeah.
industry. It just feels like people are finding ailments wherever they can, whenever they can, to give them special accommodations when taking tests. And
The,
I'm against that. I don't like that. I don't like people doing
I
that.
don't either. Yeah, time should be a factor. That's, especially on a test like accounting or something like that, where it's like, yeah, if you have all day to sit there and figure it out, it's kind
Yeah.
of a stat from the piece that Teach sent over. Almost 40% of Stanford undergrads are registered as disabled. One quote, one administrator told me that a student at a public college in California had permission to bring their mother to class. This became a problem because the mom turned out to be an enthusiastic class participant.
Huh.
Crazy.
I mean, the schools that enroll this is from the article too, quoting, "The schools that enroll the most academically successful students, in other words, also have the largest share of students with a disability that could prevent them from succeeding academically."
Yeah. There was a big piece. I think it was the New York Times Magazine, like the Sunday magazine they put out either last weekend or 2 weekends ago about just public education in America or just schools in general in America and how, they're the concept of schools is relatively new, like, as far as like elementary school education
Mhm.
and yeah, just like the over prescription of ADHD medications and misdiagnoses and all of that stuff. It was pretty bleak.
Yeah,
And then you
this
add to it all the social media stuff, and I'm not sure if you saw the thing last week about, basically the Facebook and Meta, executives, being caught basically in emails or transcripts, like equating their work to that of drug dealers.
Oh, I did see something about that. Yeah.
So,
I mean, they're not wrong.
yeah.
They're not wrong. TC,
Um,
I feel like this extra test time story is one we're gonna have to, I
dig
think, come
into,
back to. Yeah, yeah,
spend some extra time on.
yeah. I think we might need to double click on this one, future
Well,
episodes.
I think we can single click on this one. This one came over yesterday. Some crazy footage of a 50 car pileup in Indiana. And where was it in Indiana, Randy?
Terre Haute, I
Terry
think of
Terry Hot, as
Terry
Neil
Hot,
as Neil so
Terry.
eloquently put it earlier this year when he was talking about golf courses he wanted to play in 2025, and
Yeah,
Kayenta is the name of the one there. So
some unbelievable footage. Just nothing quite like the 50, 60 car pileups from snowstorms. It's both
yeah,
scary and I don't want to say it's sick because obviously like it's not sick for the anybody, but like
it's pretty
it is kind of
astonishing.
amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Let's do some sports. We can talk some football. Just stop me if you want to talk about something. All right. Um,
Um. Okay. Yeah.
I
Where
mean,
would
I
you
got to
like to
start with
start?
Coach Russ Probst. He's the championship game this week.
This week, this coming
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah, the Alabama State championship game with Kusa Christian.
Good for. Are we back on? Did you ever leave
I
Coach
didn't never
Probst?
left. Yeah,
Okay.
I've been
All
with
right.
him. It was like the footsteps in the sand.
Okay. Well, maybe we can
Uh,
get Wolfie. If Wolfie's not doing anything, maybe he can get to the game and
yeah,
give us a little firsthand account of this.
and he said he floated yesterday that I think yesterday this came out yesterday that he wouldn't be averse to getting back down to South Georgia, his old stomping grounds, getting getting back in the game down there. So,
Perfect.
uh,
Perfect.
I was thinking about going up to the Marist game, the Marist school game
The
in
Marist School, yeah.
Savannah, Benedictine. Savannah, I think Benedictine has like a rush end that signed with Texas Tech and a couple other like Power Five commits. They're playing up in Savannah on Friday night, but weather looks shitty and Freddie's kind of dealing with a cold. So um, and then there's fascinating situation that was unfolding. I think it's since been resolved in Georgia. This is per our guy Paul, friend of the program. He said, "Okay, so Gainesville is playing Brunswick 2 weeks ago. It's 42 to nothing Gainesville in the third quarter, and a Brunswick kid rips two helmets off of Gainesville kids. A bench clearing brawl ensues, and the game is called for Gainesville at that point. Then 39 Gainesville kids are suspended by the Georgia High School Association for their role in the fight. They appeal, and five suspensions get rescinded, including a Super 11 player and an Alabama commit. LOL. But Gainesville has taken that ruling to the courts, and now the entire 5A bracket. This is like the highest bracket in Georgia, is frozen pending this legal process. They were going to delay the other game. They were worried
They
it was
can't
going to
play
drag
any
out till
games.
like March. Yeah. So the only way to state is through the courts. This is for the semis. And yeah, yesterday they rescinded the suspensions and the
Wow.
game is happening. So and I guess this
Wow.
Gainesville coach, complete menace. Like makes Rush Probst look cute and quaint by consideration. Like he
You sent over a picture of him. It is quite the deal that our guy
yeah.
that the coach has going. I don't even know quite how to describe it. Almost like a type of person you'd expect to be running like a Liver King-esque IG account, doing some like butthole sunning.
Buttholes
Like
hunting, maybe some search engine optimization
yeah,
before that
yeah, yeah. Like
went away
that
with
type
like
of vibe.
AI. Probably
Yeah,
switched over to some AI. Amazon's probably selling supplements on Amazon
that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
like that. All right, so I tried to do this justice last week. I don't think I did. What's the latest on this Miami football? The quarterback and Baylor weed inhaler.
Oh, yeah. So the so Daquan Finn, like, straight up just quit the team, people think, like,
This is the 6th year senior that transferred
from
from
Baylor.
Baylor. Okay.
Started at Toledo, went from Toledo to Baylor, and then Baylor to Miami this year, and had played the first however many games. Miami loses to Ohio, tough loss late, and then I there still has been nothing concrete. People just the a couple days later in Coach Martin's press conference, he said, "Yeah, Daquan's off the team. We wish him well." Did not expand on anything, and so the message boards they start doing their thing. Like, what is going on? Well, anyway, the Miami message board have tracked down the Baylor Reddit page, and this Baylor weed inhaler guy, which I guess has been the team weed man now for 6 or 7 years, he's talking all kinds of shit about Daquan Finn, just says he's like one of the worst people he's interacted with, like essentially faked the injury last year to get an extra year of eligibility this year, like unsurprised that he
Which
would
it does concern me that we have a 6th-year guy at all on the
for sure.
roster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And I think there've been rumors that Daquan Finn has, like, gotten into shoving matches with coaches at Miami,
Mhm.
and that he just, like, straight up did not show up to practice after the Ohio loss. And then I've heard this is all alleged, none of this is concrete. I heard he, like, showed up on game day, they were playing Toledo the next week, and he just, like, showed up and was like, almost like Seinfeld, Costanza, like nothing ever happened, and they were like, "What are you doing? Like, you're not playing." He's like, "Well, I can still like, can I help you? This is my former team." They're like, "No, you have to go away." And so he's quit. Miami plays their backup, shits the bed against Toledo, loses that game. But they've now found he was the third string quarterback. He's a redshirt freshman who has won the last two games, and he looks good. I mean, certainly for a redshirt freshman with no prior experience, which makes me wonder, like, how is this guy third on the depth chart? Why was he not
Yeah.
second? Um, And through the tiebreakers, the MAC had some crazy tiebreakers. Miami was tied with both Toledo and Ohio for second place in the MAC. Miami lost to both Ohio and Toledo, but because of like it's not a true round robin, Miami beat the first place team, Western Michigan, and so that helped Miami win the tiebreaker. So now, Tron, this Saturday, Miami's in the MAC championship game against Western Michigan with a third string quarterback who actually
For like
looks
the
pretty good.
3rd or
Uh,
4th year in a row, right?
Third year in a row they've been in the MAC championship game. They lost last year. They won
During
2
your
years
wedding
ago.
weekend.
Yeah,
During your
that's
wedding day
right.
on your wedding day.
They got
Chuck was
plastered by
crestfallen.
OU. Yeah,
Yeah.
they got plastered by OU. So it's been a real roller coaster in Oxford. I still don't know anything about DeQuan Finn substantially. The Baylor weed inhaler was a bright light, just fun to kind of read about his deal down in Waco. And I'm also like kind of pissed at Chuck Martin because this guy's third string was so clearly better than the second string, who was like a fifth year senior. I think he was just because of seniority was
Yeah.
was higher on the depth chart. But they're going for a MAC title this weekend, so I will eagerly watch.
Huh. In somewhat related news, the Baylor AD stepped down, uh, last week, I guess. Um, Seemed like I think he was in charge of the college football playoff committee, and then the Arkansas guy took over. That guy, all the Arkansas people are livid at him hiring the guy from Memphis.
Why don't they like the guy from Memphis?
He's pretty mid. Ryan Silverfield, like he didn't
Yeah,
even make the conference championship game in, whatever conference they're in, the American or whatever,
he's a
any of his
Jacksonville guy.
years. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, like, what is a school like Arkansas? Like, what are I guess truly Kurt Signetti has ruined this
Yeah.
all because like you're Arkansas. What are you going to do in like an 18 team SEC? Like that's where I don't. These conferences have taken the money, but I'm not sure it's set in for a lot of these schools of like, yeah, you're never like, what do you play for now? Like
Yeah.
Arkansas's. I guess I can't say they'll never be relevant, but like chances are you're never gonna be really relevant. I just don't understand what we're doing. But I know
Yeah.
that's not an original take.
I mean, I liked the hires that I liked. I liked the UK hire, the offensive coordinator from Oregon who played quarterback at Louisville, but, like, grew up a UK fan and he's from Kentucky, and, he sounds like a pretty dynamic dude. I think Summerall I like the guy that Florida hired. Seems like high energy, has his shit together. My guy RC Kunk played with him at Kentucky, or played just ahead of him at Kentucky and said he was just the man, like, great dude and,
Yeah,
great
but
great football mind.
yeah,
Um,
I don't know enough. I'm just saying though, like what?
I like the UCLA hire, Bob Chesney from
Yeah,
JMU. Like that those are my guys, are like the guys that go from D2 or one double A, FCS up and they succeed at every level and like learn how to run a program and win.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
So
uh,
Summerall, okay, so he was 2 years at Troy.
yeah.
Really good teams at Troy. Went to Tulane. 9 wins, 10 wins. Like, yeah,
The
it all looks
concern is that he's
all
not a
looks good
big,
on paper.
and Willie Fritz had Tulane rolling before he got there, and then the offenses have never been, especially dynamic. But it
Right.
sounds like they're giving him the NIL budget. He said, "Hey, like this is Florida. I want to have an exciting, explosive offense. That's a necessity here." So,
Yeah,
um,
it's like a non-negotiable.
yeah. So we'll see. But I mean, Penn State just not having a coach yet makes me so happy. It's so
Well, do you
funny.
buy into
For
people think
sure.
Jimmy Sexton's just icing Penn State out because Franklin was a CAA client and didn't appreciate how they dumped him.
I mean, the CAA conspiracies are going all the way to ESPN with Orlovsky and Herb Street and all those
Yeah,
guys. And
which I buy. I buy. I'm in on
totally.
all the rumor. Yeah, and he represents 14 of what the 16 SEC coaches at the moment. Like
Yeah.
he is the power player for sure.
Yeah. What'd you make of all the Kiffin stuff?
I think it's hilarious. I think it's like it just shines a light on how broken the sport is, like a desperate need of leadership,
Yeah.
somebody to make the calendar reconcile with the off field calendar must reconcile with the on field calendar, right? I I I kind of I like to root against Kiffin, which stinks because I always kind of like LSU, but
He's
they
got a
were
little bit
not
of
likable
story
with
around him,
Brian Kelly. Yeah, I like
which I like.
it's a much better fit than Brian Kelly ever was in Baton
Yeah.
Rouge. But I think if it goes sideways or if it gets bad, like I'm totally here for that too with
That's the
with
whole thing. I'm
Kiffin.
just here for all the nonsense. Like, that's
Yeah,
why college football's fun. Like, I think the football's better in the NFL now, but, like, it's just fun, like,
just
just
all the stories that
yeah,
surround it.
just
Yeah, yeah,
crazy ecosystem, right? And
yeah.
yeah, seeing where, like, Brian Kelly, like, I thought he was gonna land at Michigan State. They seemed to lock in on Pat Fitzgerald pretty easy, like, pretty quickly there. I think Penn State should get Jeff Monken, the guy from Army. I know Portnoy was tweeting about that yesterday, but I think that's absolutely the right fit. Like, he's done an awesome job there, and he'd be perfect fit at Penn State. I mean
What
that
do
as a
you?
compliment to him. But
I,
the guy from BYU, Penn
yeah,
State trying to hire Kalani Sitake, like, it was very clearly just like a leverage play from him
yeah.
to get more money out of the crumble cookie guy and Qualtrics Ryan and everybody out there.
I The Pat Fitzgerald hire, I'm like, I see it on paper, and it'll be interesting to see what he does at a school like Michigan State, which doesn't quite have the restrictions that a Northwestern does. But like, he oversaw some like not great Northwestern teams too. Like, I'm not. Again, I'm like, he's gonna beat Ohio State, Penn State, like I don't see that. So I feel like Michigan State's just throwing a shit ton of money at all these
Yeah,
coaches that like, what are we doing? They're a program that needs to go find that D2 coach that had like
yeah.
they got to find like a schematic advantage, I think.
Where do you
But
think Brian Kelly ends up?
I don't know. Does he end up anywhere?
He should go to
Like,
Baylor.
yeah, I feel like if I'm Brian Kelly, I might just like take a year off and see what next year looks like. He's got all the money. I don't know if I'd
Yeah,
be in a rush to. He seems to like playing golf. Like, play some golf, my man.
yeah.
Um, Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting one, and I don't know, quite honestly, like, if Chuck Martin is a name that's gonna be bandied about to kind of backfill some of these jobs, of schools that have come open. Like, I think he might be too old, like, he's not a sexy hire, but, I mean, getting Miami to a MAC title game 3 straight years, like, he sucked out of conference. He has been absolutely brutal out of conference, and there's so many things that frustrate me about him. But, like, he wins a ton of MAC games,
Yeah,
and I think he runs a pretty solid program by and large. I you know, if one of these kinda, a Memphis or a Tulane or, I
yeah,
Colorado State hiring Jim Mora, that type of program, I'm always curious if anybody ever comes asking about Chuck.
yeah. Good question.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, shit, next year's cycle could be crazy too with, if Norville, I think Norville's a dead man walking. They just don't have the money to fire him at Florida
He's gone
State.
as soon as somebody can stroke a check. Yeah.
And then, if Aranda struggles at Baylor again, or if Matt Rule like doesn't get over the hump at Nebraska,
Well, I
um,
think you got Lincoln Riley at USC. I feel like
yeah,
something's gotta come to a head there. I feel like
yeah,
Sarkisian at Texas,
Dabo.
Dabo and
If
Cle
they have
yeah,
another bad, like, I
exactly.
think they're forcing them to make some staff changes, and if they have another bad year, Beamer at South Carolina,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
interesting. So, yeah.
yeah.
Um,
What a
Speaking
mess.
of, just quick NFL, I think you're gonna chop next week with do some knowing with
Yeah, we're gonna try to get
others
at
this
least
week.
Neil and Pooch. You're gonna be traveling, so I think we're gonna at least try to do a little knowing there, but
What'd you make of the Eagles? They're in disarray. Our guy's
it's
mid,
great, isn't it?
just like we said.
I
Everybody's
know.
blaming Patullo. I guess his house got egged, but, Hurts, he just everything has to be perfect for him to play great football, right?
I don't know how you come to another conclusion. and I feel like it's the same conclusion we were on 4 years ago.
And
Like,
got
it just
vilified for.
yeah. And has he played some good games? Sure, he's played some good games, but, like, it's just not it's really crazy, the run game, Barkley doesn't look anywhere what he looked like last year, like, they just that offense just does not strike any fear into anybody. It feels like really they're just trying to win with defense, and their special teams isn't that great. Like I think Elliott's missed some kicks. Like I think it's a bad formula, and I feel like I don't know. I would be offloading Eagles stock, but maybe they'll find something and turn it around. I just think that it's got this sniff of kind of a sinking ship here, TC to me,
I think they're
which
gonna bring in Frank Reich for, to kinda stabilize the offense a little bit. I imagine they bring him in as a consultant here moving forward.
yeah. The
So,
defense is great. I mean, the defense
yeah, Big Dick Vic.
is wonderful.
What,
The Thanksgiving slate was great. I'll just give
yeah,
that a shout out. All 3 of those games. I mean, the Bengals-Ravens game wasn't if you just looked at the score, but being a Bengals fan, that was awesome. And then the 2 earlier games were both very good football games. I thought that was some of the best Thanksgiving football I can remember.
I agree. Man, the Dallas game was awesome. Uh, between just I don't know,
Their offense is
Schottenheimer,
so fun.
they're fun to watch, man. It's kinda
Yeah,
like Texas A&M, like, I can't believe I'm rooting for the Cowboys,
I
but
know. I
but,
know.
like, yeah, I don't know, it'd be pretty electric to see Jerry prove everybody wrong. Jerry and
The
Schottenheimer and
I mean, Quinnen
George
Williams looked
Pickens.
great,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it really is amazing what they've been able to kinda salvage and do. I still think it's a big ask for them to get to the playoffs, but,
it is. They
it's
gotta
a
have,
great
like, the
game
Lions or
tomorrow.
somebody else just
Yeah.
totally fall apart. Yeah.
Well, they play the Lions, and that kinda feels like a whoever loses that is kinda
Yeah.
done as far as the playoffs go. So
Um, and then, yeah, I mean, just teams wise, are any more thoughts on the K balls stuff?
oh, I put this in the agenda. So yeah, I think I'd mentioned Evan McPherson. He missed a 54-yard field goal, dead down the middle, but short against the Bears. I want to say, and it came out that he was not kicking with a K ball. And so you fast forward, and this was against the Patriots. So this wasn't the Ravens game, but 2 weeks ago, the Patriots also at home in Cincinnati and he kicks with a K ball and he makes a 63-yard field goal and he's got a yard or two. It was somewhat comfortable,
Yeah,
and so I just think that's like definitive TC that we can. I think the K balls are worth about 10 yards per kick, and I feel like Evan McPherson has given us that data firsthand. So I don't like it. I would like to see us go away from the K balls. If somebody I like having that 60-yard number as like a really magical, mythical threshold.
yeah,
And I feel
yeah.
like with
You
the
got to
K
throw the
balls,
record
it
book
just
out now. You
yeah,
know,
we've just lost that.
I guess the question is, do the K balls affect catchability on punts?
That's the question. I know. We're gonna get more into that with Poosh next week because I'm fascinated to hear where Neil falls on
We
this
should
side of the
field that
discussion.
question. We should see if we can get
Yeah.
some teams guys. If we could get LeJohntay Wester or somebody like that to
Yeah, if anybody
opine
listening, if you've ever fielded a punt from an NFL punter, and Thomas Morstead specifically, just let us
with a
know if
K
it
ball. Yeah,
if it is in fact, impossible to catch.
yeah.
The only other thing
Uh,
TC teams wise, did you see that play the Dallas gunner made?
yeah.
This was back in the Eagles game, so again a couple weeks ago, but I think it was Elijah Clark was the guy's name. It could be the team's play of the year, honestly.
Been a lot of great teams play lately. Just guys
Yeah,
flashing on teams.
love to see it.
Randy, I'd be remiss if I didn't just shout out Burrow and the
Good to see him
Bengals and
back, isn't it?
ZT. They answered the bell on Thanksgiving night. They flustered Lamb on defense, which I didn't even know was possible.
I didn't either, man. You wanna talk about things I did not see coming.
Um,
Super
eh,
small sample, but the defensive line, if you just look at their November numbers, Joseph Ossai, Miles Murphy, like, we'll see if it's real or if it's just, a couple games, but if it's real, it's, very encouraging.
Yeah, and then just yeah, having Burrow back was awesome. His little pregame interview saying, we get paid to play, we get overpaid to play a kid's game. Love that.
He's the man.
Uh,
He
yeah,
I texted you, I'm like, "That's just Burrow's the man." He's so
best.
weird, but I just love him. I absolutely love him.
And then just I think the Clapper. I got to give it to the Clapper. The Clapper called a great game. He had some of his obvious stuff that he was pointing out, but he had some really good observations,
I'm
valuable
with you.
observations.
I'm with you, and I'm glad you said that Thursday night because the more I listened, like, really listened, I was like, "Yeah, he's doing a great job." He was very good in the booth. I credit where it's due. I he's much better in the booth than as, like, whatever they use him for in studio and
Sunday night
pregame and yeah.
football night in America
Yeah. Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
Jack and
Yeah.
Maria and
Rodney.
Chris Sims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So,
I yeah. I'm
um,
Have you watched any NBC basketball,
I
NBA?
haven't yet. No, I haven't
It's
watched
a
a
really good
thing.
product, which just I
Even
don't know.
beyond just the John Tesh
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think they've
intro.
done a really, really good job with just the graphics, the announcers, the just everything. It's a really nice presentation, I think, which always just makes me that much more upset about how they present golf. But
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there.
Well, hey, props to Sam Flood and the gang for
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
good things on that front. So, um, yeah, Randy, I'll leave you with just we won't do any airport stuff other than how did you feel about Sean Duffy's stuff about making air travel civilized again? Dressing
Um,
up.
Conceptually, I don't have a problem with it. I'm kinda with him. Like, let's have some pride. I would just like this video without discussing how dehumanizing the flying experience has become for the vast majority of people. I think we need to acknowledge, like, y it just feels like they're cramming us in like sardines,
Yeah,
especially at the back of the bus. But if we wanna tackle that, then I'm all for asking people to, like, "Yeah, let's make it a thing. Let's have some pride in it." I weirdly I don't know if you thought I was gonna have
no,
a
I was
different
legitimately
reaction, but I'm
curious.
kinda like, yeah. I'm like, "I okay, yeah, fine.
Now, like
I'll."
Sean Duffy doesn't need to be rolling back the consumer protection stuff that
That's what I mean. Like, like, if you're gonna ask consumers something, like, we gotta ask the
it's got to
businesses
be two
something.
sides of the bargain
Yeah,
here. Yeah.
yeah.
No,
TC sorry, go ahead.
I totally agree. I think it's yeah. I think there is something there. Like I saw this thing. There was American Airlines passenger, of course, grinding dead skin off of his or her
Like, we
feet.
can't have that shit. We like,
Yeah,
you gotta know that you're, like, in a society, right? And I think that yeah, I wouldn't mind bringing that mindset to air travel. Like, it will make it a more pleasant experience, I think, by and large for everybody,
yeah.
if we all just, like, put a little bit more pride into it.
Well,
I'll
yeah,
say this, I've been noodling on this take TC. Maybe this is a good time to just float it. It's probably worth a longer discussion somewhere else, but, um, as a tall person, a slender man, but more so because I'm tall, at what point should I start asking about, like, do the airlines specifically, do they owe me anything as a tall person in terms of, like, leg room or comfort on an aircraft? Or is that, like, my problem just because I happen to be tall?
I think that's your problem because then we get into the GBFP
Right.
issue.
Right.
That's what THG calls
Right.
great big fat people, and
That's a
people that
THG.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
yeah.
THG used to be one. I don't think he would he
Now
would
I know
eat
I'm
us
not
big,
speaking
and he
for
lost a
all.
bunch of weight.
This is where it's like you gotta preface these things. I feel like somebody's weight is a little bit more in control than somebody's height. Like, there's literally not like I could chop I guess I could, like, chop my legs off, but, like, there's not much I can do about my height. I
Does
feel
this
like
come
there
back to
are
the
things I can do about
accommodations
it.
stuff that we were talking about, the extra time?
Well, that's where I'm like, if people are signing up for all these things, like, when does just being tall past a certain threshold, when does that become a protected class? Because I feel like airlines should offer exit row seating for free to tall people first, and then if there aren't, like, extremely tall people on the flight, then you can sell it to
How do
other
you
people.
prove you're tall? Like, driver's
Well, I think
license? You
one
have to upload a driver's license or a
yeah, I guess. Or it's, like, truly
what's the
it
threshold?
well, and then now we're asking the right questions. Like, I think personally, I think it's 6'5" or over in today's
So if you're
like
6'4.5", you're just SOL?
yeah, like, I think you could have, like, a physical, like, measuring stick
Like the
at
thing
every
at the
gate.
the amusement parks or
Yeah.
the water
Yeah.
slides?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just asking questions. I haven't thought through all of it quite yet, but
Do you ever go up to the gate agent
I
pre-boarding and
used
say,
to.
"Hey,
I used to.
obviously,
Yeah.
look at me, I'm tall,
Yeah.
6'8",
I
anything you can do." Like, I didn't wanna buy the seat, I just wanted to human to human.
yeah. I used to kill 'em with kindness. Now, full transparency, I fly with United. I have enough status. I can book into exit row or premium
Bulkhead
economy,
or
right?
yeah.
So it's not an issue. But absolutely, when I used to fly, I would go up to the gate agent. I'd say, "Hey, listen, they might all be taken. That's totally fine. But if there happens to be an exit row, I just would really, really appreciate it if there's anything you can do."
What
And
was
it
your
works
success
sometimes.
rate?
Uh, honestly, maybe like half the time. And I wasn't flying a lot before,
Yeah.
we got into this. But yeah, it certainly worked. And then they were like very nice. They're, oh yeah, you're gonna be so uncomfortable in like your middle seat or window seat in the back of the plane.
Right,
So I
yeah,
don't
that's
know.
a yeah,
I'm just asking questions. I know there are listeners out there that probably think the same. I honestly I should have asked Pete, Mayor Pete when he
yeah.
was on. That's the one thing I'm like kicking myself. But I just am
Maybe you're a
wondering if
single issue
planes go
voter.
tall people. Yeah. I'm just wondering.
Yeah. Well, I think DT floated, he wants to blow up Dulles Airport, which I
You
have
I we'd be
full
for that.
full
Yeah.
support for me. There's a long-term plan, like these temporary terminals that they built 30 years ago that are still in play here. Um, but he wants to expedite the whole thing. I'm all for it. Bring it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's
Well, you know
again,
that
let's
thing
take
would be
some
called
pride.
Trump International Airport, which I'm sure plays a part. Yeah, let's upgrade Dulles and let's just start having a conversation about what can we do for tall people when they fly? Because, why should we be penalized for stuff that's completely out of our hands?
I think that'd be an interesting like Germans are tall, right?
Yep.
They're stereotypically tall
Dutch?
people. Yeah, it'd be interesting. Like, what does KLM do? What does Lufthansa do? Do they have a policy? Those are
I don't
thoughtful
know.
cultures.
I'm gonna start researching this. I can't be
Okay.
the first person that's thought about this. I yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Report back. I'm
Okay.
curious to see what happens here. And
Okay.
then,
All right.
yeah, I think the other thing just with Dulles, obviously that kind of got in the news and that got on Trump's radar because of the mobile lounge incident. Did you see that? One of the mobile lounges crashed.
Yeah, yeah. I remember talking about I think that was just breaking on our last chop session,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, maybe that'll somehow encourage just change. Generally speaking, that was the spark, you know.
Yeah. Well,
So,
we need some hope and change when it comes to air travel.
yeah. Well, Randy, this was delightful.
Yeah.
Missed you these last week and glad we courd do it. So,
Thank you, TC. Always a pleasure. Thank you to everybody listening. Thank you to the sponsors, Whoop, Stone Creek, and course, ServPro. And yeah, ball knowers. We'll be back next week. Look forward to it.
crack on.